All right, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to tap in this week. We celebrated crossed our 13-year anniversary of being together, and we just wanted to kind of reflect on that a little bit. So something I wanted to, I guess, kind of ask you was, what are some key lessons or key things that stuck out with you that you've learned in this 13-year relationship?
I don't know. I feel like that's such like a big question. I feel like one thing for sure that I needed to learn is that I don't have to do everything on my own. I think I came into the relationship with a mindset that, it was up to me to break generational curses, and it was up to me to make changes, and I didn't oftentimes leave space for you to participate in those changes. I felt like I had to carry the relationship by myself at times, and I also feel like it created a dynamic between us where I would, shoulder a lot of the burden and even take away opportunities from you to step up, because I felt like I didn't even want to be patient enough to let you step up. I didn't want to even be patient enough or be vulnerable enough to give you space to disappoint me. So I took on everything myself, even sometimes in parenting. Because I was a stay-at-home mom, I felt like, you work, you pay the bills, I'm responsible solely for taking care of the kids, and I was able to manage that for quite some time, but it eventually became unmanageable, and I think that's when I realized our relationship dynamics truly needed to change, and I needed to let go of the ideas that I had of what a traditional woman or a mother was supposed to be, and like I said, create more space for you to truly help me and be a partner to me. What you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's no secret that coming into our relationship, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't really have a clue what it meant to be a husband or a father or a leader of a household. It's kind of like you're figuring it out on the fly. And one thing that I did want to address from what you had said, to me, I still feel like in a sense you're a traditional woman. I think the little small details are the things that we don't understand about what it truly means to have a traditional household. So I still think we're traditional in a sense, but we don't have, initially I wasn't doing everything I needed to ensure that flow and that care was there as far as culture, cultivating that environment for the traditional household. So
what do you mean specifically?
Like you said, for me, I guess we kind of think in a sense when you're traditional and it's all right, I make money, I pay the bills, I do X, Y, Z, you're stay at home. In your youth or when you're young or you don't have life experience, I think you kind of assume it's all right, I'm kind of hands off at home. It's the cooking, cleaning, the, care of the children, a lot of that falls to the mother or the wife. And that's true to some degree. A good majority or a good portion of it does. That said, I didn't see or understand at the time how much power and influence I needed to have as well to ensure that it was a well-oiled machine. We do play a role as men in ensuring that our household is able to process like it needs to. So for me, I was still just very selfish, very hands-off, very I didn't look to you for any sort of input or guidance. I wasn't running everything per se. I wasn't being a real authentic man, I guess, but I wasn't having dialogue with you in terms of how to manage the household, dialogue with you in terms of what do you need to be successful with the task essentially that I've set up for you in the household or different things like that. I didn't really take a lot of that stuff into consideration. So it was very much so where I just expected you to do things and I didn't even check in. So when you weren't hitting certain marks or doing certain things that I just kind of assumed came with that, it wasn't even a check-in. It was kind of almost resentment or just kind of a pondering of well, what's going on? What's the disconnect there? So it wasn't until we kind of sat and really had a conversation and got out of this space of took the resentment out of the way, took the expectations out of the way, and just kind of really broke it all down to see, what do we actually need? What do you need to be successful? What do I need from you? What are realistic expectations? All of the above. So it took quite a few years for me to kind of get involved and get hands-on and understand, like I said, my true role as a head of household and what that looks like, you know, at least in my opinion.
No, I agree. But like, that's what I was saying initially, is like, I played a role in our dynamic being that way, because whenever I saw like a deficiency in you, I was like, oh, well, I have to step up, versus giving you space as a young man to grow and to learn what it means to be a father and a husband, versus me feeling like I don't see this in you, so I need to put this on my back. And I think initially I was doing okay, because it's like, okay, we got 1 kid and I'm managing things. We got 2 kids and I'm managing things. But, you know, even at 3, I was lightweight still, you know, managing things.
You was getting it. You was doing it.
But I think once that pandemic hit, and once, you know, we had the 3rd child, and now I'm pregnant with the 4th. And
kids at home.
All the kids are at home all day. You're working. Like, it was just a lot. And I was really breaking down. But I didn't even consider that I could ask you for help, because I thought, like, this is my responsibility. Like, this is my role. I'm at home with these kids, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And like I said, I came into the relationship, you know, having an idea, like, I want to be a hands-on mom. Like, I want to, you know, be what I didn't have, or I want to, like I said, be hands-on with my kids. I want to be sacrificial. I want to essentially be a martyr in the household. And I didn't really have any relief, because I didn't really like have a lot of support or a lot of help that I would accept, because I felt like these 4 kids or these 3 kids are our responsibility. And then on top of that, I think maybe I had even set the tone with you that I didn't need no help. I mean, I don't know if that was your mindset, but I took pride, I think, for a while, to a certain extent. I took pride in the fact, like, yeah, I can do all these extraordinary things. I do all these things for myself. I'm managing it all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I won't say I saw it like that, but I think we're both similar in that way, where we'll take on taskings or problems by ourselves, almost to our detriment.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that open line of communication. So for me, I think I was kind of coming into it with kind of unrealistic and unfounded expectations. And I think you were kind of taking it all on, like kind of shouldering it or carrying it, and not letting me know, like, hey, this is too much, or hey, I want to be able to do this, but I could use help here, or
I need this set up in order to be able to do this. Right.
So I would say it wasn't, and I'll say that too. I do agree to some degree. It was me kind of not seeing it, me not wanting to see it, me kind of being oblivious in a sense. Like, I feel like it's like kind of all of those things. Like, I guess in hindsight, I could see where it was like, all right, maybe this is overwhelming. But I think, like I said, then I fall back on the, like, well, I'm doing this. This is kind of what I thought should happen. And
so what are some of the expectations that you considered to be unrealistic in hindsight that you had of me and of the household?
I just think, like you said, especially as we gain more and more kids, I think just thinking like, you know, you're going to do all the meals, you're going to do all the baths, you're going to do all the, shopping for the kids or shopping for the household. You're going to cater to my needs and give me attention. You're going to instill values and certain things in the kids. You're going to, you know, laundry, you know, do all the, you know, you're doing the doctor's appointments and stuff like that because I'm at work and that type of stuff. So it's like, it's really like, it was kind of almost like a catch-all for the household.
Yeah.
And while I do believe a brunt of that again did fall on you just by default, just because of like my schedule and everything like that, I really was resistant and didn't understand, like I said again, how much more influence and power I could have in those situations, or how much more I could contribute without burning myself out, or you know. So I think we've kind of I don't want to say mastered it, but I think we've got a good thing
think so.
going now at this point where it's like a nice flow of understanding. Like, I think even for years, like, even once we began having conversation, it was still like this idea where I needed you to tell me what you needed from me and different things like that.
That was a big thing for a while. Is like, sometimes I didn't even know what I needed. I just knew that I was struggling.
Yeah.
And he would want me, like he said, to like be like, hey, I need you to show up in this way. But like I said, I didn't even always know what I needed. I just knew like, hey, this isn't working for me. And then, oh my goodness, when you actually like started being more hands-on, you used to help in the most unhelpful ways. The most unhelpful ways. And I used to be like, man, is he slow? Like, because I really would be like, this is not helpful. And I'd be like, if this is how you gonna help, I'd rather you not help, because you saying you helping me and it not being beneficial to me is like low-key a slap in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is, because like you said, you still ultimately have to like kick in and do the work still. And like you said, the little thing that I took off of your plate, it really didn't amount to anything for you. And I think, like you said, it's kind of like you said, just that slap in the face. But it took me a while to really start being able to read the room and kind of see like, oh, she's overwhelmed here. Oh, you know, she's gone doing X, Y, Z. Or even that, I would like try to give you a break and come back to have you come back to chaos. Like, essentially, like, it's like I know when I'm home as a dad, I'm working all the time. I come home, I want to do me with the kids or with the household. I want to, you know, and it took me a while to just realize like you have a schedule, you have a setup, you have something that's going for yourself to ensure that you're not getting overwhelmed or that you can get everything accomplished. And then when I come in, it kind of goes out the door.
Yeah.
So like, even